What's up, you guys? Read that quick. I guess I'll read it for you. It is video after all. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Let it sink in a second because it's so relevant to every aspect of life, but most of us take it for granted. So I have a little chart, kind of, that will discuss what the meaning of opportunity really is. So, over to this side. These are just some quick little examples I wrote up because everybody here knows full well I'm going to go off on a rant and on tangents and all that good stuff. So there's opportunity, but then there's a negative opportunity, which is what I'm calling incident. It might not be the actual opposite, but it works in this context. So you have opportunities and you have incidents. Opportunities are things like what I wrote here. Like let's say with travel you win a trip. Well, that's great. You win some radio contest, but you don't have a passport. That was an amazing opportunity to have an adventure that you don't get to have because you weren't prepared for that opportunity. Win a car. Same thing. You ain't got a license and you need a license to take the car over, right? You need to give them your license ID in order to cash in that prize. You ain't got one. But now let's move on to some really more relevant things for the majority of us. Job promotion. Now, how many of you show up to work every day with low energy, no enthusiasm, but feel like you're entitled to a promotion because you've been there longer than somebody else? And some new person comes in there and is full of life, full of vigor, and really they just show that they're prepared for an opportunity better than you are. If you don't always have this enthusiasm for life, you're going to show the people that are above you in your job that you're not ready. Now, let's say you get the job promotion because you earned it, but you're not ready for it. And you can't handle the new workload because you've been living in this bubble of taking on just what you need, not taking on more than you need because you're not up for the challenge. You're going to miss out on an amazing opportunity. And I know a lot of you right now have probably been somewhat offered opportunities and turned them down because you're not prepared and you doubt yourself. Last minute fight option. This one's a little relevant more to me than the average person, I guess. But let's use UFC fighters, professional fighters as an example. All the time in that industry, people have injuries during training camps and stuff like that. And what they do is one fighter is injured and his opponent isn't. His opponent still wants to get paid, but he doesn't get really paid unless he actually has somebody to fight. So they start calling other people that are in the right rankings to make sure that it's still a good competitive fight. Now, what a lot of fighters do, even at that elite level, is they take lots of time off. And they train, but they don't really train hard. And then when there's a fight opportunity, they know that they have an 8-week or a 12-week training camp to get ready. Now, the fighters that are at the top of the food chain in that industry are the ones that are always training, day in, day out. Like Michael Jordan, right? That guy, the amount of free throws that he shot off the court is probably 100 to 1 from on the court, probably 1,000 to 1, because you're always putting in the work so that when the opportunity is there, you're ready for it. Now, if that guy was like, it's summer or I guess winter, I don't know, whatever their seasons are. When it's off season, most of them are off doing other things, right? A lot of hockey players, they're off season, they're golfing. They're being lazy. They're not actually putting in their usual training regimen or even anything close. So then when the season starts up, exhibition kicks in, everybody's a little lagged behind, everybody's a little sore, not everybody's ready for that opportunity. Investment, huge, monstrously important here. How many of you right now have money set aside for investment opportunity? Right? I know that until I started gaining more knowledge because I grew up in a very, very, very poor environment, I had no idea what investment was. But I'm already thinking about putting money away for things like my kids' university. But that's education. Let's talk about investment. Right now, stocks have plummeted. Things are so low that they've already hit a floor. And there's companies out there, big companies, that aren't going to go under. There's no way Target is going to close worldwide. There's no way. They're struggling, but once shit reopens, they're going to make their money back. They're going to do what they have to do to re-maximize their profits for their investors. If you had $5,000 right now, for example, to throw into a stock or several different stocks, you could look up 3 companies that are very, very successful companies. Lululemon, for example, their stocks have gone down a little bit. Not so much because you can order online, but they've gone down. They're going to go past that. They're going to grow. So you could put money in there right now knowing full well it's going to grow. And in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you can pull that money out and play around with that a little bit, or use that for something like a trip or your kid's university. Anyway, if you ain't got money sitting aside, you aren't ready for that opportunity, you miss out. You miss the opportunity. Now, university I already touched, right? We're going to talk about yourself or your kids. I wasn't saving money as a kid. Even if I thought university was an option for me when I was 16, my family is poor. Like, there's nothing my father or mother could have been able to do to help me with university. So for me, it wasn't even a thought. But now, if I had the same mindset then that I do now, I would have said, well, I can start saving, because I was working almost full time through all of high school. I bought a car with cash. That car could have been my first year of university. But you see how I wasn't prepared for that opportunity. I didn't believe it to be something I could do. My belief system screwed me up. Now, this big one here, physical ability, that's what I touch on. That's what I care about. I believe every single human being should be physically capable of many different things for many different reasons. One example, let's say there's an earthquake and you're stuck just below ground level and you can just touch the top. If you can't do one pull-up to get yourself out of that hole, you are going to die in a hole. You're going to starve to death in a hole. If you can't swim, even just 100 meters to save your life, you're going to drown. Now, isn't it better to just go, swallow your pride, get some swimming lessons? Of course. But you don't think about it because you're not prepared for the opportunity. What you're doing is going, I just won't go into water. But, hey man, you're by a river, your kid falls in, you can't save your kid's life. How are you going to live with yourself? Because you didn't think it was important. That's the whole thing about this opportunity thing, is life doesn't just tell us what's going to happen. The thing we have to do as human beings is preventable means. We always need to be working on improving ourselves mentally and physically, so that when life gives you a challenge, you're ready for it, no matter what it is. You can throw whatever you want my way. I'll be okay. I will. I know I will, because I've been through some very, very difficult times and prospered. This whole thing going on right now, what did I do? I looked at it as an opportunity to start my online training and take it more serious with these Zoom classes, my website development, all these things. I'm prepared for whatever life throws my way. But we were just talking about positives with opportunity. So physical ability as a positive would just be capable. You see somebody assaulting somebody on the side of the road. You can stop. You can intervene. You could do something because you believe in yourself, because you are always ready for these opportunities. Some of you right now, this quarantine has hit and you've taken your health and thrown it out the window. You've just made yourself less of a person because the pandemic is happening and you want to be lazy. Some of us are going to come out of this pandemic stronger than ever. Some of us worse than ever. And that's going to affect your mind too. But now I want to talk about the opposites. Incidents. Injury is something I put first. We're going to talk about physical injury because I have a perfect example here. Kevin Hart yesterday was on Joe Rogan's podcast and he was talking about how he got in a car accident and broke his back. The doctor said to him, if he was not as physically fit as he is, there was a little bit of space because his core was strong enough. If that little bit of space wasn't there because his core was strong enough, he probably would have had a broken back that permanently disabled him, or he would have died. Because that guy exercises every day, his healing was better. His tolerance for pain during the process of healing was better. He refused pain medication. From a broken back, the guy couldn't walk. And he was able to recover at a very, very good rate, much higher than average, because he's more capable than the average person. Now, I'll give you another example, and this one's very personal because I know these two women. Two women, both tore their ACLs and had meniscus damage, both of them. I think it was a few weeks apart, for crying out loud, maybe a month and a half apart, but not very far apart. The one girl is a very active girl. I mean, she's beaten cancer, and she is the kind of girl that if she misses a day at the gym, she feels guilty about it and will just do something at home. This woman is... She she's a fucking superwoman. And I feel like life can throw shit at her and she will just laugh and make the best of it. The other woman, still an amazing person, but her value system is different. She doesn't care that much about her physical health. She's not a very active person. Her going to the gym and doing a 30-minute workout a day is all she wants to do, and that's all she needs to do. But because the muscle mass, the lean muscle in her legs was less than, and her flexibility and mobility was less than the other girl has been, I mean, it was less than a year for recovery. When she tore the ACL, she was still working out within a few days, just not doing anything on the legs. She would do a lot of seated exercises. When the other person got injured, she shut down everything. She's put on weight. She hasn't exercised since, basically. Now she's starting to get back into things again, right? And I'm not giving this comparison to say one person is better than the other. I'm giving this comparison so that you can understand what it means to be prepared for an opportunity and an incident. They both tore their ACL at around the same time. One has been training for a very long time since the incident. She barely stopped. When she got the surgery, she had to stop. Oh man, I think she did like 3 months of just very, very minimal stuff. But as soon as she can get back to the gym and start throwing kicks again, because it was kickboxing, and doing squats and things like that, she did. She didn't wait around. She forced the opportunity to be there when the other person was just waiting and waiting and waiting for the problem to solve itself. One was very capable beforehand, one was less capable beforehand. The person that was more physically able beforehand healed faster. That's not an anomaly. That is a very normal thing. Any medical doctor will explain that to you. Physiotherapy would be a great person to talk to. Chiropractors will explain it to you. All of them agree. If you are in a better physical condition, which means lean mass to body fat ratio, if you're a strong, capable person, you will heal and recover faster than someone who is lazy and overweight. It's that simple. Job loss. How many of you have a savings right now? How many of you are ready for something like this to happen? How many of you right now live above your means, right? How many of you maybe last year did very well profitable, so you moved into a bigger house, bought a fancier car, and now this shit happens, and you're not ready? You see, you can't live your life way above your means in an expectation for things to grow. You're going to put yourself in a bad situation. Live below your means. If you're doing well financially, save well financially. Right? If I make 100 grand a year, but I spend 80 grand a year, I'm still only 20 grand profitable. But if I make 50 grand a year and I only spend 15 grand a year, I got a better profit margin, right? Some people would just think more is better, but it's not true. It's what you do with it that really matters. World pandemic. I mean, I've touched that enough already. Your career doesn't exist anymore. This is huge. There's a lot of people, especially in Alberta, that went to university specifically to get into the oil and gas industry because the demand was there. Oh my God, you can work administration, making $40 an hour. That's crazy. Yeah, well, guess what? It's overinflated. Pursue your passions. If you chase money, money's going to run from you. If you chase your passion, money's going to chase you. It's that simple. And you're going to enjoy every step of the way. There's not a day that goes by where I wake up unhappy to do what it is that I'm doing. Why? Because I'm doing what I love, right? That's it. That's the secret, you guys. Do what you love and find a way to make money doing it. People are more than happy to give me money for my knowledge and my passion because they feel it. They feel the honesty and integrity in the things that I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do is educate people on health and well-being. I just want the world to be a healthier place. That's all I want. Loss of a family member. That's tough. That's tough. When my grandma passed away, I was really sad. All my family was sad. But I've gotten myself into a strong mental place where I understand loss of loved ones is an actual normal human experience. I prepared myself for that unfortunate event so that when it happens, I can mourn, I can express my love, but what I've done, my trick is to understand that the people that have passed, whatever comes next, because none of us really know, whatever comes next, I'm believing is a beautiful experience and another journey for their soul. That's what I tell myself. And I believe it's selfish if I spend too much time grieving because they don't want me to grieve and project negativity towards them. I will cry happy tears remembering beautiful moments. I will cry happy tears remembering beautiful things they've said, things they've created. I'll give my thanks that my grandma had my mom and my other grandma had my dad, and they've created family that created me, and I get to create more. That's the kind of stuff that I find beautiful. And that's why when I lose someone I care about, I can recover quick. Now, that's a difficult one. I'm not saying, hey, be me, be tough. Everybody deals with their own thing, their own way. But I didn't need medication. I didn't get depressed and have to go to a psychiatrist and say, I need drugs to help me cope. Because I built the mental muscle to overcome these challenges that are a normal human experience. And anxiety and depression are at record highs right now. So is overweight and obesity. So is poor diet. All these things are at record high, and I believe they're all correlated. When you take care of yourself first, you can handle those things better. Yourself first. You're the temple. You're the person that needs to be prepared for anything. Even the things you can't see coming, which is pretty much everything. Inability to perform. This is the one that drives me up the wall. I don't expect everybody to be able to be incredibly fit. Not everybody has to do fucking backflips and handstand push-ups and things like that. There's certain things that some of us fitness industry guys and girls can do that we know the average person can't do. And that's us challenging ourselves further. But every person should be able to do a push-up. Every person should be able to do a squat. Every person should be able to pick up their child and get out of their house in an emergency. If this place lights up on fire, I'm good. If my girlfriend, my wifey, Jessica, if she passes out from smoke inhalation, I will carry her ass out of here, no problem. She'll be on one shoulder, my dog's on the other shoulder. I will get them out. And I know my emergency first aid. Because you don't know when life's going to challenge you like that. Now, if your daughter or son, same incident happens, right? And you got a bad back. You can't bend over to touch them. Or maybe you can, but you do and you break it. Maybe you injure yourself further. Maybe you can't even physically get up and out and carry your wife out of that building. Now, adrenaline will kick in. We all know about the adrenaline thing, but adrenaline is only going to get you so far, you guys. Life is going to throw things at you that you can't expect. But if you are mentally and physically strong and capable, then it doesn't matter what it throws at you, right? A friend of mine right now, she hurt her ankle. And she asked me, what can she do? My response is everything else. It's difficult. It's your foot. It's hard to do things. But when you have the will and determination, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I'll grab a resistance band and I will extend that thing, or I will retract that thing over and over and over, and I'll work my biceps. My foot doesn't work, fine. I'll work my arms. I'll get nice tricep, nice bicep. Who gives a shit? I'll do abs all day, every day. But when something bad happens, right? Are you able to save your loved ones? Are you able to save yourself? Maybe you're a woman and you're out at night alone and you see a guy chasing you. You see a guy following you. Are you physically capable of defending yourself? What can you do to make sure he doesn't assault you? Right? Big problem with that is you got women's self-defense courses that are shit. They do the whole, hold my wrist, I do this, and that doesn't work. If you want to train to protect yourself, go learn a real martial art, a combative martial art. Don't go do jiu-jitsu would be perfect. Don't do taekwondo. Don't do karate. Don't do something like MMA, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. Do things that train you how to hit with your elbow, train you how to hit with your knee, teach you how to bob and weave, choke the life out of someone, because you don't know, right? I've been doing martial arts my whole life. I've been in a handful of fights. I never been hurt, right? And if competition is different, but I mean, if I'm out on the street, I have confidence. I'm not worried. If I have the awareness to see things because I'm always prepared for those opportunities. Now I know that if two people are following me and my wifey, we'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. And I have that confidence, not in an arrogant way, but I have that confidence because I'm very knowledgeable of what I can and can't do. And I'll be okay. My cardiovascular is great. They're not going to catch me if I run. Anyway, now I just sound like a fucking bragging. So these are examples of opportunities and incidents in what made out to be more than 20-minute long video that I intended on doing 5 minutes. I hope you made it through all this. And I hope what I'm saying does resonate with you. Because some of you are parents. Some of you are just husbands. Some of you are just single. Some of you are in a place right now in your life where you're not registering all the things I'm even saying, and maybe you're just making fun of me. And that's okay. But one thing for sure is the only certainty that we have in this thing called the human life experience is uncertainty. But if you are a very strong, capable person mentally and physically, then whatever challenges get thrown your way, you'll overcome. Doesn't mean it's easy, but you'll overcome. That's it. That's my video to you. I would love to elaborate more on this. And if any of you have any questions about things that I've said, things regarding the challenges I had growing up, maybe how I overcame those, I'm an open book. Whatever you want to know that can help you better yourself, I'm here to do that. So thank you so much for those of you that had the attention span to endure the 22 minutes. And with that, I'll conclude by saying the quote again. It's better to have... Hang on, let me try that again. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Always be able so you can take it all on. Enjoy the day, you guys.